bee time. Okay, all done. So it's been a hot minute since we've talked, but I'm still doing everything. Okay, so what we did with the bees, in fact, I'll show you right quick what they look like now. I think I took a picture that I'll put right. I did of what they looked like before. So let's go look at them right quick. Let's turn you around. All right, so this is what they look like now. This is the only entrance. That wooden piece right there is a queen excluder. That's a brood box. There's another queen excluder between these two boxes and one right there for their honey box. So now I'm going to explain why I did it this way and what's going on. Why am I doing all the... Hi, editing me here again. As I was editing, I realized that I did that whole thing wrong. I did that whole technique wrong. So I figured I would explain it here so that as you went through and I pointed out what I did wrong, that you could follow along. But the technique is called Demaree, maybe? Put it right there. It's what I'm supposed to have done, what you do for this technique. It's a no increase swarm control. So that way I didn't have to make another hive and it will cease any swarming activity that goes on. The way it's supposed to happen is you're supposed to find the queen and use whatever frame she's on and put it in the bottom box with a bunch of other empty frames. So you don't want any other frames with brood, you don't want any other bee, like you just don't want anything else in that box, just the queen on one frame and then a bunch of empty frames. You put a queen excluder on top of that, a honey super in between, another queen excluder, and then your brood box with all the rest of your brood. So all the rest of it. But you have to go through that second top box now, and you have to kill any swarm cells that you see, any queen cells that you see. Then you close everything up, you go back a week later, and you kill any more swarm cells, and they should all be in that top box. I did this wrong. So through the video, you'll see my little notes. You'll completely see that I screwed up, but we're just gonna go with it. And I just wanted to let you know how it's actually supposed to go. I will also put some more educational links and stuff below so that you don't make my mistakes. So thanks, guys. So here's the deal. Right around now, it's the end of March, almost April, and I've been seeing so much activity. The dandelions are everywhere. I know that they have plenty of food, and I was worried about them swarming just because of how many bees are in there or around there flying all the time. So what I did was this is my second check of them, I think, so far. The weather has finally kind of steadied out because there it was going warm, cold, warm, cold. So I went ahead and got into them thinking I was going to see all these swarm cells, it was going to be honeybound or who knows what. And I had planned on doing this. So there's a name for this that I'm suddenly blanking, so I'll put it down there below for you. But it's a technique to prevent swarming. And I originally saw it on another, not a YouTuber, they might be a YouTuber, but I saw it on Instagram. So I will put that also there so that you can follow them if you would like. I told them, I even messaged them, I was like, that's a really neat idea. I should try that this year. So that's what I planned on doing. So with the plan ready to go, I had an extra, I even had an extra honey super because I didn't know what I was going to find. But I get in there, I'm looking, and for this technique, you have to find the queen because you need to put her in that middle box. So let's look at her. Let's look at them again from my porch. So that gray box right in the middle, that blue gray box, you need to put her in there. And like I told you before, there's a queen excluder on both sides, so on top of it and on bottom of it. The reason you put her in that middle box is so that she can't go anywhere. She can't fly out because you've got the queen excluders, supposedly. Now, of course, sometimes they can slim down even if they're really determined to go ahead and go swarm. But the idea is to separate the brood boxes. So I've got empty frames in that bottom box. In the very bottom box, there's empty frames with comb drawn. And then the next box should have the queen. I didn't find her. I don't know how I didn't find her, but I didn't find her. So instead of trying to go back through and look for every single frame, which is what you should do for this technique, don't get me wrong, you should, to make it work the way you want it to. I went ahead and put queen excluders throughout every box, basically, on top of every box. And then I'm going to check back in about a week and see which box has she been laying in, because that was the other thing I found. They're not even trying to swarm. There's no swarm cells. There's no queen cups of any kind in there. In fact, in the bottom box where I figured they would be stuffed, they weren't. She had been laying in the top brood box. And to give you an idea, again, if I have that picture, I'll put it here. But if not, I had 2 brood boxes and a honey super in the beginning before I started all this. I was expecting that bottom brood box to be stuffed full. I was expecting to see some queen cups and maybe even some swarm cells. And if you don't know the difference, the swarm cell is basically a completed queen cup where they've already got maybe an egg in there, or it's elongated enough where they're about ready to put an egg in there. It's wet. I think maybe that's the difference, is it's wet because they're starting to feed the egg royal jelly. I didn't see any of it. Not one queen cup. And the queen cups are like practice for whenever they're like thinking they maybe just in case. And I didn't even see those. So honestly, I didn't even need to do any of this. But she was laying in the upper box. I did see some cells with 2 eggs in them though, and that worried me a little. Because that makes me think of laying workers. I'm gonna have to go look into it because I know that that is one sign of a laying worker, but I only saw it on the one frame and in a few cells. It wasn't crazy all over the place. And the other, I think another sign of it, and I saw this too, is that some of the eggs were off to the side of the cell. So if you have a cell like this, normally the queen's gonna lay right in the middle. She'll lay standing up right in the middle. And some of these eggs were off to the side, the ring, like off to the side of the wax comb. And I think that's another sign of a laying worker. But again, with no cells, like no swarm cells, no emergency cells, nothing. I don't think that's the case. Maybe she's just being, I guess it's possible that she's failing, but again, there's no sign other than that. So I've got to keep an eye on it. So now that I've done this, basically I'm going to check back next weekend and I'm going to see if I can find out which box the bees have started either just filling with honey or she's actually laying. And I'm hoping it's not that bottom box. Because if it's that bottom, I mean, at the same time, it's a completely empty, like all the frames are empty. So that could be a good thing. It'd give her plenty of place to lay. When I originally looked in the bottom box, there were some frames that she had more space to lay in. So again, I'm not sure that I needed to do this, and maybe I just pissed them off and confused them. But I won't be sad about it, really. The only issue that I need to look back about this technique is now that I have basically 3 brood boxes, what's going to happen if I end up with 3? Well, no, because if the queen's in only one box, then she can only lay in one box, and they'll clean out the others. So, okay, that's how it goes. That's fine. I'll work with that. So, and to update on the honey box, they were filling the honey box. So that honey super up top was, nothing was sealed yet, but they had filled 60 to 70%, which is almost time to give them another box. But since they haven't sealed anything yet, I'm not gonna worry about it until next weekend, and I'll look again. And we'll see. We'll just see what happens. So that was a really quick honeybee video. Real quick update that I completely forgot to mention. We've actually went ahead and ordered a new queen, new hive actually. I think we went with 2 pounds of bees from a friend of a friend, and decided that the genetics in ours has been kind of bitchy. They still don't let us really mow or even garden. That's one of the reasons we haven't gotten the garden done, is because they, I was cleaning out the barrels. Here, I'll show you. I was cleaning out the barrels that are right there. You see how close it is, but also how far away it is. I was cleaning out those barrels and I got smacked in the face. Like, I don't know if you could see it anymore. It was purple. It looked like I got punched. So their genetics are a little more aggressive than they originally started. If you have seen any of my like first videos and even the trailer of my channel, you can see we used to sit right in front of the hive all the time, and they had no problems with us. But over the years, the genetics have changed, and they're aggressive. Not super aggressive, not anything like, they're definitely not Africanized. They're just aggressive. They're protective of their hive, which is a good thing on one hand, but also not great for whenever you want to mow the lawn. We're scared to mow the lawn. I'm the one that mows this lawn because they don't seem to sting me as much as they do the husband. So anyway, you'll see those when we get those, and I will go ahead and put a whole video about installing a new nuke of bees. So that will be coming as well. But that's what I wanted to make sure that I told you that. So anyway, bye guys. I will do another gardening video soon. Ooh, I'm shaking. Ooh. I'll do another gardening video soon when I've actually got stuff that I'm putting in. Right now I've just started seeds. The seedlings are inside, and I haven't done anything really outside just yet. We've started cleaning up, but we haven't got anything prepared. So anyway, that is your update, guys. I appreciate you taking the time to listen. If you have any questions for me, drop them below. I will be happy to try and answer, although I do apologize for those that have commented before. I'm not awesome about getting back on to check, but I'll try. So even if it takes me a month, I might still, well, not might, I'm gonna try to still answer you. So hopefully you'll see it whenever I get to you. Anyway, I hope you have a great rest of your week, a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next time on the channel of Growing Wild Farm and Garden. Bye guys.